and try to correct their pronunciation. Yeah, that's basically it. Just trying to listen to native speakers and just repeating the word. And when you get it, repeat, 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 so that it's stuck in your mind, stuck in your head, and you never mispronounce it again. Yeah. So yeah, get it done. Yeah.
Okay, yes. Thanks a lot. That is a great advice, teacher, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Yeah. Homeworks as well, because we mainly focus on just speaking. So pronunciation is a huge part of speaking, right? And then obviously it's fluency, it's confidence and everything else, but pronunciation is a very big part of it. So yeah.
In my opinion, I love American accent more
Mhm.
than British, but it is most difficult than British because I got a, I have got many problems when I came to speak about American accent. This make a little bit terrible for me
Mm-hmm.
because they speak very fast and sometimes it's so hard. So that's mean, can you say? I hear it so many of sentence American use, but it's not easy to understand them.
Mm-hmm.
How can I get to solve this problem easily?
Well, to be fair, I think you're the first person I heard saying that, because usually it is way easier to actually pronounce each letter in the word. And people sometimes don't even pronounce all of the letters, which sometimes makes it difficult. And there's also many, many different accents in British English, depending on which part of England or which part of the UK the person comes from. So yeah, I have to say I haven't really heard anyone say that it's more difficult for them to understand American accent. Um, to be fair, the only thing we can improve that is to just listen, listen, and listen, and try to do some exercises. So again, another thing, it's actually quite a new thing we do in our lessons, is that we have a video which I would play for the students, and we would have, for example, a few questions or maybe discussion questions, or maybe to fill in some gaps. It can be like any exercise, which really makes you stay focused on or on the whole video, and really listen. And yeah, just try to catch the words. If you didn't catch it, you can just try again. Yeah, so listening is definitely the most useful way how to do that, I would say. Um, so if you're talking about American English, what I would recommend the most is probably like Netflix TV shows, series, or films, movies, because quite a lot of them are American. I would say the most of the well-known are American. Yeah, so basically just listening. And when you're watching a film, what can always help you when you're starting is the subtitles. So when you just put English subtitles on, you try not to like read what you just heard. And yeah, and then you can just try without subtitles, or you can try podcasts and stuff like that. So yeah, just listening and trying to get some exercises to listen in.
Advice. So I will keep listening to American
Yeah, of
accent
course.
until I solve this problem, and I will be watching movies.
Yeah, 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 yeah. You can definitely do that. Or what I also recommend is, maybe depends on what you're interested in, but it can be different types of influencers, vloggers, bloggers, anything that you're interested in. That's definitely going to be an American person talking about it. So yeah, yeah, that's what I would recommend, to just like listen about something you're interested in, and just like that, you're gonna catch some new vocabulary, and yeah, just understand how they actually speak. Yeah.
Okay, so do you think that listening to podcasts can make me to speak American accent more than reading uh, a books or a magazine?
Well, um, I was more talking about understanding American accent, so understanding how other people speak. However, obviously, like grammar and reading, it's all
That
very important,
listening
to listen
grammar and
new.
reading, it's all very important. Listening grammar and
I
reading,
can now
all
hear
very
myself.
important. Listening grammar and reading, all very important. Listening grammar and reading.
Okay, good. I think I could hear myself twice. Yeah. So, yeah, very important to learn some new vocabulary. And without vocabulary,
Yeah,
you
very important to
obviously
learn some new
cannot speak
vocabulary
really
and
well.
get vocabulary
But if
obviously
we're talking about
cannot
the
speak really
pronunciation,
well.
you're
But very
definitely going
important
to
to
learn more listening to native speakers or yeah, to just anyone speaking in American English, American accent. And yeah, just like that is going to learn to teach you how to speak properly, I would say. But yeah, what I was trying to say is because you said you sometimes have issues understanding American accent, right?
okay, in fact, I don't have problem in vocabulary, but my
Yeah,
problem is, is in pronunciation side,
yeah,
how to
speaking, yes.
articulate the word correctly as the native speakers articulate. And that's why I want to solve this problem.
Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly what we're focusing on. We're trying to focus on how to be confident while speaking English, how to speak fluently and exactly how to pronounce words correctly. Obviously, there are differences in like different accents. It can be in the British and American accent, but it can also be in different British accents. So there are differences, but still, if you learn at least one of the ways on how to pronounce it, one of the styles, one of the accents, it's already something. So yeah, that's exactly what we're trying to focus on in the speaking practice course because our course is not really about, just grammar exercises and reading like long paragraphs. It's mainly about talking, pronouncing things, sometimes learning new vocabulary as well, which you always do when you learn, like a paragraph, an article in English, you always learn at least one new word. So yeah, that's what this is about.
Perfect. Maybe I can just
Okay,
come in
thank
and
you so much.
uh, maybe I can come in and say something about pronunciation. Yes, of course, like like Tutor Ellis said, you can watch American movies or American um, um, podcast that can actually help you improve your pronunciation. And before you do anything, I want to advise you to check yourself, um, especially vocal, test your vocals. How do you sound? Do you sound British or you sound American? Because many people are mixing accent and pronunciation. You see, pronunciation is standard, but accent is not standard. Why? Because pronunciation has English language sounds. It has 44 um, international alphabetical symbols that you have to know. Like you need to know the tone, you need to know what are the English language sounds. Basically, we call them phonetics. I think you have studied them at your primary school, which is like phonetics and phonology. But all I advise you, if, for example, if I ask you to say this tongue twister, I have got a little daughter, my little daughter got a little daughter. Or if you said, I have got a little daughter, my little daughter got a little daughter, then you can actually discover your vocal. If you are sounding American, then it is easy for you to go through American English and actually will go faster. If you're sounding British, then continue British. This is about the accent. But when it comes to pronunciation, you need to learn the English language sounds. That is really important. You can get them in our course. There is actually pronunciation course. When you browse our website, you get them, or you can take them everywhere. Or at least I can advise you to follow something called ESL Library. It's on YouTube, which is um, providing the 44 English language sounds. You can learn them, and then you can definitely um, continue studying English language. So make sure that pronunciation, why I said pronunciation is standard, because pronunciation has symbols, has sounds that are written on the dictionary, and you can learn them and you can get them, and then you know how they work, how they operate. But accent is not standard because in the UK, like let's say in England, people have different accents. Although they speak English, all of them speak English. But if you look at American English, also people in New York speak different than people in let me say Texas, different than Chicago, everywhere. So accent is different from community to community, but pronunciation is a standard. Yes. So welcome everyone else. Welcome to the program. And if you would like to interact, you would like to ask question about how do you improve your English, if you want to ask about our program, you're also welcome. The English program that we are conducting right now is a speaking practice course online that coming every 3 months. Right now we have already past 1 month. We started, it is actually successfully going on right now. So if you want to join the current course, you're welcome. And if you would like to join the next course, you're also welcome. Otherwise, we're still talking about English language advice. If you have, any question you would like to come in, you're just welcome. Let me welcome Mr. Yusuf Osman, is raising hand. Very welcome, Mr. Joe. Is that Mr. Yusuf raising your hand? Very welcome.
Yes, hi. Yeah, that's me. That's me. Hi, everyone. This is Shakoor.
You're welcome.
And
I
the rest
just guessed
attendees.
from your second name.
Thank you so much for having for providing us this free interaction meeting.
Would like to come in, you're just welcome. Let me welcome Mr. Yusuf Osman. His raising hand. Very welcome, Mr. Joe.
I don't know if you can hear me because I think there is an echo.
Raising your hand.
That's
I don't know where the echo comes from. One of these people may be having please, something called Ahmed Wad Black. Can you unmute yourself? Unmute yourself. Let me mute everyone so that only the speaker. Go ahead, Mr. Joe. Mr. Yusuf, continue speaking. I am muting everyone for you. Of course, Mr. Yusuf, you can come back anytime, continue talking. So, Ellie, maybe you keep talking.
Yes, hi, Mr. Shakoor.
Yes, please. Welcome. Go ahead, Mr.
That's fine. So thank you again, Mr. Shakoor, and the rest attendees. Thank you so much for providing us this free advice and tips on how to improve our pronunciation. So to be honest, I just want to ask, maybe through the discussion, I might participate again if you give me a chance once again. So my question is, what is the importance of improving the pronunciation itself? So I just want to know in what aspect of life the good pronunciation is going to help me. Is it for understanding other, or for being able to for example, to describe whatever I want to describe, particularly for the native English speaker, whether they're an American or they're Britain? I just want to know this one, because
Oh,
Okay.
he's even gone.
Oh,
Yes,
okay. We might wait to
us,
come back.
maybe you can keep talking about it until he comes, or
Okay. Okay. So, it's actually something we already mentioned a bit. So the importance of pronunciation is obviously to explain yourself clearly. And what I mean by that is that sometimes um when you can have some really similar words, in spelling in English, and sometimes if you mispronounce a word, there might be a word that's really similar, and you pronounce it as that word, and then it completely changes the meaning of the sentence you just said. It completely changes the idea, or maybe it doesn't even make any sense. And yeah, it's just a small little mistake, that you mispronounce one word, and then you just don't get it. You don't get why people don't understand you. But that's actually why you need to improve the pronunciation, because there can be really similar words in English. And if you swap them, if you mispronounce one and it changes the meaning, sometimes you can just say something that doesn't make any sense, and then people don't understand what you meant by that, what you wanted to say, and there might not be space for questions, and then yeah, people just wouldn't get it. So that's why I think pronunciation is really important to be able to explain yourself clearly and make it easier for others to understand you, and also make a conversation more pleasant. Because if someone needs to ask you to repeat what you just said like 3 or 5 times, and they still don't get what you meant, it can get really annoying. And then you sometimes just give up. Then you don't want to talk. Then you don't want to have the conversation anymore. And yeah, that can just be exhausting. And obviously, you don't want that because you wanted to say something in the first place. So yeah, that's the main reason for why you should correct and learn how to pronounce things correctly in English. Yeah, that would be my advice on that, my idea on that.
perfect. I can also add on that is, um, first of all, there is a very big factor in which you have to improve your pronunciation because the wrong pronunciation immediately send the wrong message. And if you mispronounce a word, you are actually changing the meaning. And this is very important. English speakers need to consider this. And let me just give you a very short example. Now, suppose that you are mispronouncing the word park, Park, park. You are driving somewhere and you want to park your car, and you mispronounce the sound pa into sound ba. And instead of saying park, you said bark. And most of the Arab speakers, I mean, Arabic native speakers who speak English as a second language, they have mistake, very common mistake. They replace the sound pa with the sound ba. So normally they pronounce the word park as in bark. So imagine you are asking the police or the traffic man if you could park here or somewhere, and then you said, "Can I bark here?" instead of saying, "Can I park here?" Definitely the person will understand you are asking to produce a sound like a dog barking. You are not asking to park. If I am the person you are asking, even if I am the traffic policeman, I would say, yes, of course you can bark because you have your mouth and you are free to bark everywhere you want to bark because nobody will stop you from barking on the street. But you need to actually pronounce it better, which is, can I park here? So this is very important. And also another thing I always tell people is that pronunciation is your language decoration. It decorates the language. What I mean by decorates it is it makes it look sound good, sound understandable, and it sounds so clear And by the way, if you have a clear, the clear pronunciation you speak, the correct pronunciation you speak, the easier language the word will flow on your tongue. Yes, that's what I can add. Yes, very welcome. Someone called, yes, Mr. Yusuf, we're still talking about your question. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I found myself outside of the meeting. That's why.
All right.
So yeah, thank you so much. What I got from what you have been mentioned is understanding other and also easy to communicate what you need. So uh, bad pronunciation or poor pronunciation, sometimes you might communicate something different, as you have just mentioned. But if you don't mind, I have some comment after I ask my question,
Please
which
go
I
ahead.
don't know if it is true or not. Maybe you can just uh, yeah. So what I think, some people, they try and focusing more in learning pronunciation rather than learning English itself.
Mm.
So I think like over focusing on pronunciation, do you think it might slow out the overall language development? Because people sometimes they're spending long long period of time learning how to pronounce the word effectively rather than acquiring, for example, more vocabularies that it might help them in their communication. And also I can feel that some people focusing on pronunciation, making them fear and make a mistake, or maybe people that might understand them poorly, or the way that they pronounce it is not the correct way. So it might affecting them speaking or practicing in front of people. And some people, like they're saying, the most important part of whatever language is the communication itself, how to communicate what you need, regardless how you pronounce that in a nice way or not. Uh, I have thoughts. Some people, they might look into the learning pronunciation in this part. So do you think what I have been mentioned, it's true, or this is just misconcept that people need to fix it again? Thank you.
All right, fantastic. Can you go for it, Miss Ellie?
Okay, I'm not really sure I got. I don't know if it was a question or if it was just like I think it was just a fact and what we think about that. I know that first of all, you mentioned that sometimes people, try to correct or improve their pronunciation before they can actually properly speak English.
Yeah.
Well, that's not the good process, or not, yeah, not the right order on how to do it, because obviously improving your pronunciation should come after you can actually like properly speak English, after you know some vocabulary. However, I also believe it kind of goes hand in hand. So the minute you learn a new vocabulary, you learn a new word in English, you should already know how to pronounce it correctly. You should always listen to how to pronounce it correctly, because if you learn the word in the first place with a wrong pronunciation, it's really, really, really difficult to improve the pronunciation after you've been using the word for ages. Because, in your head, the word already exists with that pronunciation that you learned, the wrong one. And it really makes it difficult to learn the new one, the one that's correct. So it should always go hand in hand. However, you should always, you should like learning the English language should always come first. But yeah, that would be my answer on that. I'm not sure if I got the whole point you meant, or maybe Tutor Shakoor will add something.
Yes, you got it. You got it. That's exactly, he's correct, actually. Many people are coming down there. They've
Yeah.
spent much time trying to improve their pronunciation, because they want to sound perfect, they want to sound native. I also want to tell them that the essence of it is not, I don't want to say you cannot, but you don't need to be native. You need to speak correct language, clear language, and understandable. That's all about it. You definitely need to make people understand you. And there are so many English speakers are burdening themselves by perfectionism. You don't look for perfectionism. But fluency is different than perfectionism. A fluent person is not the person who speaks fast or always speak the correct word. No, the fluency is when you understand and make people understood. When people understand you and you make yourself understood, that's it. Now you are fluent. You are very fluent. If your language is understandable and you understand people, that's all about it. So for them to spend long time or much time in trying to improve pronunciation, that will waste a lot of time and will actually decrease the chance of improving the language, because you are limiting yourself into one skills, which is pronunciation. Remember, we have additional six skills: speaking, listening, reading, writing, vocabulary. All these are skills. You're ignoring them by just trying to make yourself perfect in pronunciation. Do not do that. What you gotta do is to continue learning English, as Ellie said, as Tutor Ellie said. Um, they go hand in hand. Move together, study all the languages together, all the skills together, listen, speak, talk, practice everything. It will actually go ahead. And by the way, the secret of improving your pronunciation is listening to native speakers, and that's all about it. Podcast, public speaking, TED Talks, the classes that you have, listen to pronunciation, that listen to native speakers, whether British or American, you would definitely get to improve your pronunciation much better. Yes. Is there anyone has yes, anybody would like to ask or comment on what we are talking about right here? Well, thank you, Mr. Yusuf. We appreciate your coming in, and I hope everybody here, you can share. Please share the this live on your page, on your Facebook, since you get it on the Facebook, so that we can actually reach a quite number of people who are interested in the program. Okay, so if nobody else is okay, somebody with the phone Oppo is raising hand. We don't know your name. Just state your name and welcome, please, with the phone Oppo. Someone with the phone Oppo.
Hello, hello. Assalamu alaikum.
Hey.
Hello.
Walaikum salam. Welcome.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, definitely.
Hello. Thank you for this meeting, and I appreciate this effort, Mr. Shakoor, and the teacher. I have some question, quick question. Number one, is registration open now? And if I am ready, is it possible to join the class tomorrow uh, or the yani yes. And number two, are there any offers or discount available in this session season or and test, or how does it work? Yani? How join your classes? And thank you.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Amar. I appreciate your question. Of course, we are, if you're interested to join immediately, you can definitely join. The first term is too early because we have 1 month which is unfinished yet. This week we are ending the first term, which is month one. We're remaining with 2 months. So if you join from next week, which is Saturday, you will definitely start the second month. Saturday, we're starting the first class in the second month, or month two, and then you can continue until you finish the 2 month. Then you will take the months that you haven't taken after. While the idea was to go term by term, but right now we are making it rotating. So even if you come at the end of the term, like you have only attended the third month. Okay, let me say that you joined the class after we finish 2 months. You have already had the month three. You can take the third month. Then after you finish the third month, you can take the months one and months two because we already have the materials and the modules are ready. You can just keep, doing them continuously. Of course, when you come into private conversation, we can definitely see how we compromise the payment, the offers, and everything. No problem about that. About how we teach and about the class, I maybe hand it over to Tutor Ellie to talk about how our class goes and what do we do.
Definitely. Definitely. Thank you so much. Yes. So basically, as we mentioned, we mainly focus on speaking. It's a speaking practice course. So we mainly focus, or we want the students to speak as much as possible. So basically, for every lesson, we would have lessons 3 times a week. For each lesson, there would be a different topic. So maybe I can give you some examples so that you know what we're kind of talking about. So lately we've been talking about, for example, education, work, technologies, or AI even, because that's a very hot topic nowadays. The last lesson we talked about transportation, different means of transportation. So the topic are really various, like there's a different topic each lesson. So even if you miss one lesson, you can always watch it back, because we record all of our lessons, but you didn't really miss much for the next lesson. You can always join the next lesson. And basically, we would have a topic, we would have a presentation. Yes, Tutor Shakoor is just showing it to you right now, which is perfect. So this is one of our presentations. And basically the whole point of these presentations is that we have multiple they've got multiple discussion questions which make you talk about something. Sometimes you even talk with a partner in the group. We would also have some reading paragraphs or reading passages, which I previously mentioned, but I'm going to repeat it. Yeah, because I would let the students read the paragraphs, maybe one sentence, few sentences, the whole sentence, and then I would try to correct their pronunciation, and then we would explain what the vocabulary means and stuff like that. So each lesson, what we're trying to do is make the students speak as much as they can, learn some new vocabulary, and sometimes I would also give a little homework, which usually takes like 5 minutes. It would usually be like a voice note that I want the students to record for me, send it to me so that I can give them their individual feedback. So this is basically the whole point. Yeah, so mainly it would be discussion questions, reading, and then again discussing something about what we just read, or watching a video and discussing what we heard in the video. So yeah, that would be how our lessons go, how our lessons look. Is there any more questions about that?
No, it's so clear and obvious. Yeah. Thank you for your effort and
Of course.
appreciate.
Yeah, thank you for the question, because yeah, that's the main point where we're doing this live Zoom to explain how it actually works, and yeah, so that you can decide whether it's something you would like to do to join.
Like Ellie said, we're actually trying to get quality speaking practice schools. And let me tell you one important thing. Anybody who studied English as a second language, most probably they have studied primary school, secondary school, maybe at university, and then they had a lot of different courses. Maybe they have studied a lot of English. So in the course, I tell you, you will not study new English. There is no new English that we're going to give you, we make you practice the English that you have already studied before, or you already, stored a lot of vocabulary and information, and you are not using that language. So the course gives you opportunity to actually practice what you've studied before, and gives you a chance to demonstrate more, and to actually break the shyness of speaking English in public. And that's the most important part of it. Like the first months, we're focusing on speaking too much, a lot of speaking. I mean, like 60% or 70, let me say 70% of the class time is a speaking practice, because we are sure that people have words, people have vocabulary, they have studied grammar and everything. The only what missing is practice. So the speaking practice course, so that's why it's called a speaking practice course. We would like to give people environment where everybody can talk and can speak, can elaborate more. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. If I can just add a little something, it's also some of my students, their English is very, very good, but they're just not confident enough to speak because they have never really practiced. So that's what we're also trying to boost, is the confidence and just, yeah, just don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's what we want to do because the more you practice, the more mistakes you make, the more you learn. And yeah, so that was just to add a little something because yeah, most of the students, their English is very good, but they're just like too ashamed to speak. They're not confident enough. So yeah, that's what we're trying to improve as well. Just make a safe space to make mistakes. Yeah, exactly.
Yes. So is there anyone would want to say something, a comment or question about the program? Um, do you have anything else you would like us to talk to you about, or anything? Just welcome. It's an open mic for you guys. Just welcome to the program. Yes. Is there any question?
Mr. Shakur,
Yes, please.
when you want to speak clearly, or when you want to speak confidently, you want to memorize vocabulary, or the speaker depends on the vocabulary.
Mhm.
Is there any method to memorize new vocabulary, or is there any flashcard or something to memorize new vocabulary? And speaking when the person is in earlier step to speak, you need to memorize. Yani. Is there any method to achieve that? Thank you.
I would
It
say,
go
yeah.
ahead, Ellie, please go ahead with it.
Okay. Well, what I would say is that when you learn new word, the more you use it in sentences and I don't know in telling some stories, the more you use it, you actually use it, not just read it somewhere and just try to memorize it, but the more you use it and you speak with using the new words you just learned, the better you can memorize them. And yeah, that's like the main point because I can see that that might be an issue, when people learn English at schools and just anywhere else. They just read the words, they just read a list of words, new vocabulary, and they're just sitting there with a book opened and trying to memorize all of the words without actually using them in a sentence. So, what we would do is that if we have a new vocabulary list, or even like it can be one new word, two new words, I would always try to ask you to use it in a sentence, or maybe ask you, can you tell me a story using, for example, three of the new vocabulary? So yeah, the more you use it, the easier it is for you to just memorize them and remember them.
Yeah, that's very good. Also, Mr. Amar, there is also very important thing for memorizing the word.
Hello.
Yes.
Uh, Good evening for everyone. I'm very happy to be with you here in this open advice.
At the first, because we study English language for a long time, and a lot of teachers, some of them, they said us to keep a lot of vocabularies, and some of them they said us don't keep vocabulary, just you have to read books and something like that. And the same that said us to keep a lot of vocabulary. Right now, we have a lot of vocabulary in our mind, just we are keep it. But I think it's very difficult for us to speak fluently or confidently. And this is the challenge that we face it. The question is how we can fix this challenge.
Wonderful, wonderful. First of all, let me say that no matter how different perspectives you hear from different teachers, I would say I appreciate every teacher's strategy. And by the way, if as a teacher I give you an advice, Ellie gave you different advice, another teacher give you advice, I'm sure every teacher has their own or have their own experience on that, and there will be a result out of it depending on how you apply. Okay. Memorizing and storing more vocabulary on your head will not actually be your way out to talk unless you use those words and vocabulary. Now that I could say, no matter who said what, the fact is that any word unpracticed is forgotten. So if you have not practiced that word, you definitely forget it and it will not come again. And the more you practice, the more you speak, the more you listen, the more you remember. There's a difference between remembering words and memorizing words. Memorizing words and saving words in your mind, on your head, not necessarily you remember them when you speak. The only way that words will come automatically when you speak is when you are practicing those words and you are listening a lot. So all I say is that you keep talking, you keep speaking, whether with yourself, with people, record yourself, talk to people on social media everywhere in English, make a group of English speakers and talk to them. I think that's the best way to actually, and not only, I can just right now give you a list of 3,000 Oxford word list until you go and save these words and you cram them. You definitely go put them in your mind, your head, and you're still the same. So unless you put those 3,000 words in sentence, expressions, in phrases, and practice them and speak them, you definitely forget that. So the way out is to keep practicing, to keep speaking. English is not about advice. I think one day I have just posted a video on Facebook about that. If you keep receiving more advices, more advice, actually advice does not have plural, more advice, you will not actually apply those advice. You need strategy and you need action and you need practical steps. The practical steps is that, let me say that I have 100 words, new 100 words that I have crammed. And what I need to do is every day use 5 of these 100 words, put them in sentence, write them down, speak them out, record them, listen to them, and delete that. Talk to your friend or speak to him or to her in English and forget about that. So this is the way how you can actually put your words together. Yes. Anyone else has a comment, a question, or anything? We are about to wrap up this conversation. Maybe Ellie, you would like to, yes.
Hi, Shakoor sir. Good evening.
Good evening to you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Please, with some song, please steady yourself.
Yeah, I hear you, sir. Yeah. Yeah, just I joined. Okay, actually, I was just scrolling the Facebook. I have seen your live class. Okay, so that's the reason I joined. Okay, so may I know where are you from, sir?
Can you state yourself who you are first? And
I tell you. Yeah. So my name is Sunil Mahato. I am from India. At the present, I'm living in Bangalore. You know, like Silicon Valley city. So that's my intro, sir.
Hello, I can't hear you. Hello, has he left?
Yeah, I think disconnected.
Oh,
Maybe
it's
in
connected.
work
Sorry.
issue.
Sorry, we would love to talk to somebody from Bangalore, India. It's the first time.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Exactly.
Yes, but okay. So if there's anyone else before Mr. Bangalore come back, and then we welcome him again.
Yeah.
Hello, guys.
Yes, welcome.
Hello.
So I'm really appreciate to be with you here, and thank you so much for this great opportunity to be among you. So actually, my name is Muhyiddin Yaqub, and I'm from Sudan, and I am English student. I would like to improve my English language, but I have one common to uh, uh, my challenge is I don't have enough time to practice my English language because I have a full-time job. So sometimes I will find online clubs to share my ideas or to practice my English language. So I have one question. So by this case, how can I improve my English language? Because I don't have enough time to practice my English language. Thank you so much.
So basically, most of my students now all have, oh, not all of them, but most of them have a full-time job, which I know about. Our classes are in the evening, quite late or later in the evening. Um, which kind of, I guess, makes it easier for them because they're already back home from work usually. Um, However, I believe that even if you have a full-time job, there is always some point in your day when you have maybe like 10, 15 spare minutes when you don't really like need to do something, or at least I hope so. Um, if you've got some structure that you can, you can go through and you can follow, you can always just give like improving your English the 10 to 15 minutes a day. And you will see that in a month, if you actually do it every day or 6 times a week, it depends on what you're focusing on, right? But maybe sometimes it can be learning new vocabulary. Sometimes it can be listening to a 10-minute long podcast or a video, or it can also even be watching like one episode of your favorite TV show in English. It can be anything, and you will see that after some time you will improve, you will know some new vocabulary. And if we're talking about speaking, you can, like it can really be just 10 minutes a day when you just kind of speak to yourself, or maybe if you have someone you can talk in English with, that's even better, but you can always just speak to yourself, speak out loud in English for 10 minutes. And it kind of leads you to start surrounding yourself with English and start thinking in English as well. And it actually leads to some improvement, to quite a big improvement. So I believe that that is 10 minutes in everyone's day when you can actually focus just on English. However, if we're now talking about our course, the lessons are in the evening. I know that some students still have an issue with it because their work hours might be different than others. Um, but maybe if it's in the evening, I don't know how it would work for you, but the reason why it is in evening is mainly because most students are working a full-time job, and yeah, we just try to make it easier for everyone to join. So yeah, but I believe that that is, the 10 minutes in your day, which I was talking about, which you could just just focus on English. And so that
So Thank you so much for this great advice. So, but the problem here, I don't have anyone to practice English with. And so you mentioned it, I can't surround with myself to talk by myself. So do you mean to surround myself to speak by myself when I am alone, which is at work or at home, to speak by myself?
Okay, so what I meant by surrounding yourself with English, is, for example, right? I'm gonna give you specific examples so that you know what you mean. I didn't mean surrounding yourself with only English speaking people, because I think that's quite impossible if you don't live in an English speaking country. However, what I meant by that is doing like daily activities that you do in English. And what I mean by that is watching any videos, listening to maybe even music or podcasts or anything. Do that in English, put English subtitles on. If you like reading, start reading in English. Start, you can always start with some simple books, and then you can just maybe focus on something that's a bit more difficult. You can switch your phone into English, which makes such a big difference, because sometimes in the settings and everywhere there's some new words. So that is what I mean by surrounding yourself in English, and then it will kind of lead to you thinking in English. You will start thinking in English. And when you start thinking in English, speaking in English becomes way easier for you, like way easier, because you don't have to think about every single word that you want to say or every single sentence that you want to say, because you're already thinking in English. So then you basically just speak. So that's what I meant by surrounding yourself with English. And you also said you don't have anyone to practice English with. Well, that's why I mentioned you can always talk to yourself. You can just sit in your room or in any room if you're alone, and you can just speak loudly for a few minutes. There's always some thoughts going on in your head. Maybe you can just sit down and try explaining them in English out loud. You can also record yourself and then listen back to it and then be like, oh, maybe I could improve this. You don't need like anyone else for that. It might be easier if you have someone you can speak in English with, but you can also do it on your own. Or you can join our classes where we actually discuss things with a partner or with everyone in the group. Yeah, of
Okay, thank you.
course. Of
And I really appreciate for this great advice. I
course.
will do that.
Tutor Shakoor, you're muted if you're saying something.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, I'm muted. Okay, very fantastic. So we're actually, this is the time we're supposed to call this meeting off. We're just giving extra 2 or 3 minutes. If there is anyone else has something to say, a comment or a question about our program or anything else. But before that, I still remind you can, if you would like to join the program, right now we're having the evening class. We have finished the first month. We have 2 months to go for the first term. And if you would like to join the new class, you can actually start from the next week. The evening class, we are proposing morning or afternoon class or another evening class the different days. So classes are available right now. Times is open and the classes are still there to register. If you think you would like to be part of it, if you would like to improve yourself and take your English to the next level, this is a very wonderful opportunity for you. If not you, maybe someone else next to you who is interested in this program. So if the opportunity is not yours, do not forget to pass it to someone else who is actually interested. If not you, might be your friend, your family member, or anyone else. And especially for Sudanese, I have for Sudanese, you are hearing that now UK is opening a safe passage to Sudanese to actually land in the UK without going to the sea or illegal immigration. So meaning that this is also a very captivating news for you to improve yourself, to improve your English, since you are going to go to the UK. I think it's a very good news, isn't it, Miss Ellis? So Sudanese are going to be given a simple and easy passage to enter the UK without illegal immigration.
It's lovely to hear that, actually.
Yes.
Yeah, well, you could see that. Yeah, I'm smiling now because yeah, I think that it's lovely. It's perfect. It's amazing. So exactly what you said. This is a great opportunity for you to improve speaking because speaking, I know that you know grammar, you know vocabulary, you've learned that many, many times, but you can always, when you land in a country where everyone's speaking English, you don't really care about grammar that much. What you want to do is to just speak and explain yourself, ask for help, be able to maybe chat with someone you meet on the street or anywhere. Um, yeah, and you're not really gonna need grammar that much. You're not gonna need more grammar exercises and improving your grammar. What you are going to need is to be able to speak and not be ashamed to speak. And that's exactly what we have in this course because we believe that is one of the most important things that you need to practice while learning a foreign language or English. So yeah. You muted again?
All right. Um, I am not sure, but I heard that they are making it a bit easier for students to actually go because so many Sudanese students who were got accepted to some British universities. They got admission, but they have problems with visa or have problem with entry. But I heard now they are going to ease it for people to apply, for ease people to actually go in there. So one of our goals also, we can add this goal to our program that prepare people and helps you to speak English. Since you are learning somewhere English is spoken, basically that will help you actually to learn. I will just give one more last for to Tutor Ellie just to talk to us about the how important is English when you are in the UK, since you are already in the UK and you are living your daily life there. Will it be much struggling for someone who's arriving today, whether for study, for work, for job, or even for immigration? How important it is that at least you have to have the minimum communication level of English language?
Okay, yeah, yeah. So definitely, I would love to talk about that. I don't want to, obviously, I don't want to scare anyone. People are, it depends on what type of person you meet. You meet on a, daily basis. But people are understanding and they are always trying to help you, even if it takes you maybe a longer time to explain yourself. So obviously there is going to be people who are patient with you. However, uh, I can't imagine landing in a foreign country without being able to speak at least a bit. And obviously, those of you who spoke in here, I could hear you speaking English, and I know that you can speak English. But if you land in a foreign country, maybe if you move in there, even if you're only visiting, like a vacation, a holiday, anything, but if you're actually moving in there, it's really, really going to make it way easier when you know how to approach people, how to ask for help, how to explain anything, how to explain what you need, how to explain what you need help with. So, yeah, I believe that without it and without actually practicing your speaking, moving there or just going to a foreign country would be 100 times more difficult for you than when you actually know how to speak, how to approach people, and when you're not afraid to speak, when you're just feeling confident enough to approach them and ask for help, ask for anything you need. And also, as you mentioned, for example, moving for a job. When we were talking about pronunciation, pronunciation makes quite a big first impression, and that's also another reason why I believe that improving your pronunciation is one of the most important thing while learning how to speak English. Because yeah, especially in a job interview or even in a like job meeting, when your colleagues or maybe your boss, your manager, they need to ask you 5 times to repeat what you just said because you don't understand. Or because they don't understand. And you actually have a great idea, but you don't really know how to explain it clearly, and they don't understand you. Is not really going to make a good first impression. So yeah, that's exactly why I also think it's very, very important. Yes, I think that would be about it. Obviously, people are understanding, people are patient, but you never know who you meet and who you will need to talk to. So yeah, that's why I believe that improving and practicing speaking in English is very important.
All right. Thank you very much, Ellie, and thank you all for coming in. I think we come to the end of the discussion for today, and this is
Yes.
an open talk for everyone. Thank you all for joining. And if you felt you would like to be a part of it, you go back to the Facebook page, and then you can just tune in and be part of it. And I also appreciate, thank you very much, everyone, for coming in, and thank you, Miss Ellie, for